All right, Bang, it's the Rundown from Chicago. It's Wednesday. It's December 1st. This Rundown is brought to you by Sling TV. Chief, you said you were switching. How's that switch going?
Switch is going great. I've used it before. I'm easing my way into it, but it has everything you need. It has everything you need. It's great for college football. It's great for sports. The Barstool channel is obviously on there. Sling's awesome.
If you love watching live sports but you're tired of the high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience. It's time you got Sling. Sling is a place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and more are all together for less, and it is the cheapest way to get the best NFL viewing experience on TV with NFL Red Zone. Everybody loves Red Zone, especially Chicago. You guys know the Bears aren't great. Chicago people are going to get some red zone in, so maybe look into that here for December.
I got another thing for you, Ed.
What's that?
The guide feature, money. Great guide feature.
That's
so
good.
That's a very underrated part of your viewing experience is that guide functionality. The guide.
I have a question for you and Ed. Are we allowed to drop competitors' names on here?
I don't
I
know.
would. Is it, all right, let me ask
against.
this: Is it better than the competitor that I know that I'm talking about?
Very comparable.
Because
very comparable.
Okay, that's like the number one thing. So now I got to switch to Sling.
There's a reason why I brought it up, and it's because of that reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get Sling. With Sling Blue plus a sports extra package, you get Red Zone, NFL Network, and more for only $21 your first month. Plus, watch past episodes of The Rundown, The Yak, Stool Streams, and exclusive new Barstool content for free and the Barstool Sports channel on Sling. It's easy to set up, it's easy to use, and there's no contracts, starting at just $35 a month. Sign up now and get your first month for just $10. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find live sports that you love, all in one place. Go to sling.com/Barstool to sign up now and get your first month starting at $10. Go get some Sling. We like some Sling. First story here. MLB, it's been told that they are using two different types of balls last year without telling anyone. I feel like Dave has a lot of strong takes with this topic, but I'm going to go with Carl first.
You know, a lot of people were in on Spider Tack when that news broke, and I feel like this would be just like a great, if you swap this in, you're like, it actually had nothing to do with Spider Tack. It was two completely different baseballs. Because the people who own Spider Tack, Dave bought some on Amazon. Those people had to make millions upon millions of dollars over the summer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it'd just be like a great little wrinkle if, like, no, it was actually just Rawlings had two different balls.
Do you think that's the case?
No, I mean, I if you guys watching want to go to Barstool Chicago's YouTube page, there's the video of me at Northwestern University using the Spider Tack.
Our most viewed video ever.
Oh, shit.
There you go. Now just move that around in your fingers.
Jesus, fuck. I'm like Peter Parker. Look at that. See all the strings everywhere? I don't know if I'm going to be able to control this. Yeah.
Almost
Well, he broke the
500,000.
algorithm on the thing. It's got
Yeah.
like 500,000 views.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
he's-
almost a half.
Well,
it's just
are
me
you
fucking
familiar?
around.
One ball's dead,
But
one
that's-
ball's juiced.
I-
Like regular, they say.
That's not what I was getting at. Obviously, that is an issue. But with the Spider Tack, like, obviously I spiked the first few balls because you got to get used to a completely different release point and all that. But once you find the rhythm and the release and the slotting and all that stuff, that ball feels fucking incredible coming out of your hands. It feels incredible coming out. You can just fucking put the ball wherever you want. It feels so different and feels so good when they outlawed that and then changed balls. I can see why a lot of pitchers' arms are getting fucked up, why a lot of pitchers want to shit. Like, who's that reliever? I'm blanking on his name on Jake
Kendall
Karanchak.
Graveman.
Jake Karanchak on the Indians had, like, he was the most shut down non-closing reliever in baseball, and then Spider Tack banned, baseball changed, AAA like a month and a half later.
If you found Spider Tack in 2005, would
I'd
you be sitting here with us?
I would not be anywhere near you assholes. And if you'd be asking me for interviews, and I'd be like, I'll do it, I guess. But it'd be like begrudgingly.
Okay.
I'd be in the big leagues right now.
Kind of a win for the baseball community, too. If you remember Deflategate, like just a slight change in PSI sent, like, people went to
It
jail.
went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
You know what? Deflategate,
Baseball's using two completely different balls
All
at
right.
random, just like,
Can I-
that one doesn't travel, that one does.
Deflategate wasn't fun, though.
You like this?
No, it was like some controversies, like kind of juicy and like, ooh, Deflategate sucked. And I don't know if it was because it was talked about ad nauseum here
was
at
just
Barstool.
beaten- yeah.
It was beaten into the ground.
Yeah.
And we had nothing to do with it, but Deflategate, and it was more
But it was
so
also
the
fake.
reactions. It was more so the reactions to Deflategate that was the stories, but
But with the baseball thing, so this is the first I'm hearing of the story. How did they know which balls were which?
She's gonna eat this up, dude.
Yeah,
Ready?
because they could be like,
Rob
well,
Manfred bought Rawlings 4 years ago.
I know that.
And so they're they're using then they're saying the Rawlings supply chain was off, so they had to use like other balls.
Okay.
And it
I mean, it's
said
all
they
bullshit.
use it to manipulate games.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, hey, like we don't want the Seattle Mariners making a run because that's a
that's
small
if they're
market
gonna-
team or whatever. It could just be like, hey, let's give them the shitty balls and fix it for the Yankees.
They're
Like,
gonna-
could they do that?
They're gonna wag their finger at Pete Rose and then do this. What the fuck is that?
That's a great point. Adam.
What the
Great
fuck
point.
is that?
I mean, it's baseball. It should come as a shock to nobody. It's a dirty game, ran by dirty people, ran by dirty players, played by dirty players. It shocks me none, and it should shock nobody none.
They're foul boys.
It is what it is, and like, it's almost a non-story to me, which is an issue in and of itself, I think.
Before we move on, can you give me your most intriguing signing really quick so far?
Most intrigue. I mean, Texas. You got to talk about Texas cleaning up.
So
I mean,
just
they
Texas in
added just
general?
a fucking superstar middle infield,
Okay.
I have Sale
Corey
Garcia,
Seager,
$53 million, 4
which
years.
is
Marlins,
just hilarious.
Crazy.
Bad. He stinks.
Wow.
$12.5 million here for 4 years. The Marlins.
Do you have one or no?
Avisail Garcia.
That's it?
That's
Okay.
the craziest one to me. They did some other trades. They traded for Joey Wendell from the Rays. They did
Who's
some other
a
little stuff.
fucking
It's
awesome
ooh, the
baseball
Marlins
player.
they're getting cute. I like what the Marlins are doing, signing guys for $12 million a year. That's cute.
So, like, Avisail Garcia stinks, and it sucks for me as a White Sox fan watching him get this money because all it does is set the market for other shitty players. So now the White Sox are going to be like, oh, Avisail Garcia, $54 million. We can't fucking pay whoever, ex-player, Michael Conforto, another right fielder, $70 million because we only earmarked $40 million for him. You know, it's like, why are you giving a shitty player that much money? Because Avisail Garcia sucks at baseball, and don't reference his WAR and all that shit. I watched him play for a long time, both with the Brewers and with the White Sox, and he does all the little things incorrect. He's a dog shit outfielder. He just rolls over, beats the ball on the ground. I can't fucking stand watching that guy play, and now he's getting $50-something million.
That's why it's my favorite signing.
You did this.
Yeah.
Well, it's my. You asked me what my
yeah.
favorite signing.
Most intriguing signing.
Sorry.
Intriguing.
That should
Sorry,
be
whatever.
that should be your
Intriguing.
$54 million
That's
if you had
my
Spider
fault.
Tack.
Intriguing.
It
It's
would have
okay.
been.
Yeah.
It would have been.
All right. Besides that, Chief, you had a big post today on Barstool. I think it's the number one blog right now. The Brian
There were
Kelly.
there were 10,000 people in this blog.
11,000, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
I think the most I've ever seen in a Barstool.
Concurrent.
I had
think
19
I think
current
this is
time.
the most
That's
I've ever
nice.
seen someone in a blog. I'm
That's
sorry,
great.
I had to say that.
Yeah.
No, that's good information. I didn't know. All right. So Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
you
so
got
shout
the
out
video.
to the guy who emailed me the video.
Random, like you didn't know him.
Random.
That's the fakest random in the
Random.
world.
He's full on Dave Portnoy show mode right
No,
now.
what do you mean? I'm sure people want to like. You
Yeah,
know.
it's fair. It's fine.
You think he's gonna actually say who sent
mean,
him
that's
the video? He
definitely
won't even
not-
tell me who sent him
I
the
can
video.
guarantee you that's not the only video of it out there.
So far it is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know some other kid video of that. There's
Probably.
fucking
Yeah.
There's probably
70
100
players
people.
in the
I
Yeah.
league.
think it
Yeah,
went.
you know.
We'll say it went through different chains of custody, that video, before it ended up on mine.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for coming here so early in the morning. I really appreciate it. Obviously, there's a lot going on. The way we're going to do this is Brian's going to speak to you briefly, and then I'll be back up here. I want to share a few thoughts with you, but I want to mainly answer any questions you have about anything. So turn it over to Brian, then I'll be back up.
Thanks, Chad. Morning, guys. Thanks for getting up here in short order, short notice. As you know, I sent out a text last night trying to give you as much notice as possible, given the circumstances that we all know that happen relative to social media and information getting out. And look, I know we've been through this together. I've recruited virtually everybody in this room. And I want to be able to tell you face to face, why we're at where we're at. And that is very simply that the past 12 years have been the most incredible 12 years of my life, for me and my family, being here at Notre Dame. Magical in what we've been able to build with the most incredible student athletes, the ones that I'm looking at right now. And so many times people look for a reason to blame, or there was a reason for something. There was nothing here, but first class in everything that Notre Dame has done for me and my family. I saw my time here as a blessing, working with incredible men on a day-to-day basis. But there comes a time where you look in your life for another opportunity. And I felt like it was time in my life for another challenge. And I saw that opportunity in a very short window and felt that it was best for me and my family.
Okay, but so what do you think about the video and what you saw?
Kind of to be expected, you know, and if he was in a, I don't know why they do the big thing, let's do the thing at 7 a.m., and then he talks by 7:11, he's off campus.
Someone told me that's because the kids got 8 a.m.s, which kind of made
probably
me
true.
laugh.
Or classes,
Yeah.
could be. Yeah, that could very well be. And someone else said there.
Kyle Hamilton, he's got 8 a.m.
Yeah, someone else said that they had a lift at that time usually anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's almost like at that point, if that's all you're gonna say,
Why do it?
Why do it at all? Like he didn't. There was not. It was like a big nothing burger. It was just like kind of callous and cold and quick and hey, no questions, no nothing. Different opportunity.
All he does is
I'm
he's
out.
a dick. He doesn't do it. He's a dick. I mean, there's no
It's a
way.
weird situation.
What
but
could he have said to make him not come off like a
I
dick?
think if you had like a shred of emotion, which he didn't.
But is he an emotional guy? I don't know. I think we're just seeing Brian Kelly's like almost robotic, right?
I guess, but like he's always been like a pretty demonstrative guy on the sidelines, and like when he first came in 2009, the purple face meme was going everywhere.
Actually, week 1, what did he say that people were pissed at him about in the Florida State game? After he's like,
He was going to kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Which like I kind of
He's got angry little Irishman.
I kind of turned into a Brian Kelly guy after that, but
I didn't hate that
$15 million
either.
a year, right?
It was $10 million a year, so it was 10 years, 95 with incentives that could get him up to 100.
Man, his agent fucked up. If
Why?
he's getting paid the same amount of money as Mel Tucker at Michigan State,
But even what's his face at Penn State, he got less than that. He got 10 and 75. So I don't know what. Maybe Mel Tucker is kind of like, I don't know. There are certain certain teams in pro sports that have to overpay to get people to stay. Maybe Michigan State's in that category. I don't know.
And prior to that, it was Jimbo Fisher was the highest paid coach, correct?
I believe, yeah, I think so. He got like 7.5, I think, to go do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was something
A&M.
crazy. Like, I know this is somewhat a separate discussion, but all these coaches starting to just make these fuck you dollars.
it's crazy.
You
let's
got
keep
you how do you let that happen and then these guys can't get paid?
Let's keep it to the video though, Carl.
I
Any
know.
takeaways from it?
Yeah, I was stunned with how much Brian Kelly used the words I, me, my family, me. Like it was such bullshit. It was either buzzwords or it was I, me, this and that. There was maybe 5 seconds of like legitimate truth in that.
The my family thing, my family
It's
is
been good to my family.
Well, and it's like, this is a great opportunity for my family. Bullshit. Like you're like, what are you talking about? Like you consulted your children and your wife before making this move for $100 million? Fuck out of here. That to me is like a deflection. Like it's not just for me, it's for my entire family. Like you got it back.
Yeah, but once you have kids, you can do like having kids and being able to just like put your kids on the
Yeah.
explanation. Like, well, it's really
a shield.
important. Like Jimmy
Yeah.
wants to get down south.
It's
I wonder
just-
if it's having a kid, if that excuse is valuable enough to actually have a
wants to
kid.
get down south.
I think so.
You think so? Just
think
be able to
so.
get out of anything.
At least one of the
at
kids.
any time.
Yeah, just be like, well, I have a kid
Well, the
now.
kid's sick.
It's a
so-
great use of the kid for
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, but the video was tough.
It's tough too because ever since I lost to Cincy, he's probably had the same message in that locker room, like, "Hey, just keep your head down. Let's keep putting the work.
Yeah.
The wins come. We'll be in a spot to make that playoff. We'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there." And then it's like, "Hey, you guys did it, but hey, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
So
and
it's tough.
It's
but
also
it's
like,
the way it is.
and we have Redline Radio coming out tomorrow, but the whole thing is like, it does feel like they're closer to a national championship than any time prior because the recruiting class is coming in, or we'll see if it actually comes in now. But the guys that are committed, they have, the third rated class. They got 4 or 5 stars everywhere. Like the recruiting level has gone up a tick in the last year. So like they're ahead of LSU. Obviously LSU was a disaster, but they're currently like ranked ahead of them. They got 22 kids signed. They got the 2023. They got the number 2 class right now. Like they're right there. Like so it just feels like an odd time to leave. But I guess at this point, like I've actually like kind of like moved on. Like I was stunned and angry and whatever.
Yeah.
The timing of it too, like, could you have waited another week, you know, to see? Because if you miss a bowl game, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
But if you end up after this Saturday where you're in the 3rd or 4th spot because Houston lost or Baylor won and Bama's out, and then it's like, holy shit, like, don't you want to be there for your guys for, like, to see out this season? So the timing of it, but, you know, that part I struggle with. But the video itself, it was kind of like what I expected. But I do think if he showed, like, even if it was fake, like, you're a politician, give us a deep sigh, a pause, like, get fake choked
asleep.
up, and, you know. But at the end of the video, nobody clapped, nobody did nothing, crickets.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, but like, I think that would tell you if they, like, loved him.
Yeah, there would be something different.
Yeah.
Besides that, other coaching news, it sounds like a report came out, or it's being alleged that Lincoln Riley has been recruiting USC while being employed at OU still. Carl.
Yikes.
I mean, it's not a good situation. I don't know how you do that, though, in Oklahoma recruiting for USC. But you get the jump. I feel like you had to take a jump on a USC job. Part of being USC is being dirty. And so maybe that was part of the interview process. So they're like, Lincoln, what can you do for us? And he's like, actually,
I'm already doing it.
I've already recruited 6 kids since
way ahead of
this
you.
meeting. We have a fucking junior in high school in the parking lot waiting for a duffel bag of cash. AD, I want you to go down and give it to him. So, no, it's classic USC.
Yeah. I mean, what if it comes out? Has it come out yet that he's just been, like, completely against the SEC move? Like, what if he truly was like, hey, I don't want to do this?
Maybe.
I mean, Oklahoma, if they moved to the SEC, they'd be the Nebraska, the Big Ten in the SEC. I think they absolutely would.
They still recruit
how are you going
Texas.
to I don't think they would, though.
That's going to be interesting.
They always have. And they still have A&M and Texas coming with them. So it's not like Nebraska, who used to recruit Texas.
Fair point
now
on Texas.
Yeah.
Is Oklahoma going to die? I love the fact that Oklahoma stays in the top 10. Everyone's like, who the fuck is going to Oklahoma? There's something where it's like, that's college football.
Oh, yeah.
The Sooners. The wagon that always falls over. Like, you know, like it's I love Oklahoma.
I don't know anybody who went there.
Great fucking fight song. I had, like, teachers in high school that went there, oddly enough. But yeah, I don't know. That SEC realignment or expansion plus the playoff expansion, Dan brought that up, which I don't know why that didn't occur to me too. But now it's like I used to be like, why they're going to be in the SEC West probably, but they're going to have those pods. You know, they're still going to be at the top of the SEC. They're probably going to be the 4th team to make it to the playoffs from the SEC.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're Teflon, man. You see some of these programs that have just taken a shit.
Texas.
That were fucking they were amazing for so long. Florida State, man, and they could be this higher. Everyone's talking about fucking Lincoln and fucking Brian Kelly. Nebraska, Oklahoma's higher. Excuse me, is going to be very, very crucial.
Miami's a good example. That's what I'm nervous. I don't want Oklahoma to slip into this like, oh, they were 7. Like, I don't even know if I could comprehend Oklahoma at 7-5, 6-6. I can't them. You know, plus 16 at home against a.
Yeah, they had like just a little blip in the 90s, and then Stoops came in and won. Like, but they had that. They had like a 7-8 year.
He never had a losing season. Yeah,
Stoops. Yeah. So
that was a great national champion too. That Stoops team with Hypo.
Yep.
And Rocky Kelmus.
Well, I think that is probably someone they're calling. Josh Heupel's at Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's only been there
Poor
a year.
Tennessee.
Tennessee gets fucked again.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
one of the best offseason
I got a
stories
soft spot for the Vols. Like, I like the Vols.
It's tough.
That would be tough. But like, you can't blame Heupel for that either. Like, that's his school. Yeah.
All right, Simply Safe. If you guys have ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there is no better time than now. This week, our friends at Simply Safe are giving Rundown listeners early access to all their holiday deals, 40% off their award-winning home security. We love Simply Safe because it is everything you need to make your friends feel safe at home. Indoor, outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named the best home security system of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. That's a good accolade, Dave.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And it's a new accolade. This isn't living in the past or living in the now, 2021. You can easily customize the system for your home online in minutes and even get free custom recommendations from Simply Safe. These are Simply Safe's biggest discounts of the year. You can get a complete home security system starting at just over $100. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a really easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind. Simply Safe is everybody's favorite home security company, and I'm no exception. Setting up technology is normally a huge hassle, but with Simply Safe, I had my system up and running in no time at all. I sleep better at night knowing my family and I are protected day in, day out, day and night by my Simply Safe camera with a built-in spotlight and night vision. Take advantage of Simply Safe's holiday deals and get 40% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/rundown. Again, that's simplysafe.com/rundown for 40% off your entire system. Video was on the blog today. A giant horned elephant went crazy and attacked a Jeep full of people in South Africa. White Sox Dave, hunting Dave, what do you got?
I would have taken my blow dart gun courtesy of Tim and Sydney Wells and fucked that elephant up. That's what I think, Ed. What do you think?
You go to a safari, you got to be head on a swivel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Especially, I can't believe
You mess with an elephant, you get the horns.
Dude,
Like that's, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe we're still doing safaris, not covered cars.
Well, you got to get the gram. That's for the Instagram.
Yeah, but like, give me like a fucking Jurassic World like glass ball.
Oh, come on, really?
I want a tank. I would want a tank.
Yeah, like come on. Have you ever done a safari?
You don't know. Once. 6 years ago, Serengeti, 2 weeks. No, I haven't been on a fucking safari.
I've been on a safari.
Yeah, not like a real. I went to one in like Toronto.
Yeah, no, like something.
I went to one in New
uncovered so you could
Jersey
take
at
in
Six
full
Flags Great America. They have a
360-degree
safari there.
panoramic views.
Yeah. What'd you say, David?
They have a safari, like legit giraffes and elephants and tigers and shit at the. It's in Jackson, New Jersey, I believe, at Six Flags Great America.
Yeah, a lot of those have those. I mean, it's not much to say. It looked like kind of a soft ram from the elephant. I don't know if there was more that wasn't in the video, but nevertheless, they fucked that elephant fucked the car up.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
those things
they weigh a ton.
Yeah.
probably
literally.
more than that. How big was the car? As a Jeep? I bet the elephant weighs more than the Jeep.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are just solid fucking muscle. Of course, it's gonna fuck up a Jeep.
I mean, you see what happens to cars when they just hit a random deer crossing the road.
They-
Those are
yeah.
140
Oh, yeah.
pounds. They fuck your car up. So I can't. Yeah, like you said, like an elephant would just squash it. Like they would just squash it.
Would you ever go on one, Ed?
Absolutely, I would. You wouldn't
A
go?
safari
I know you.
Uncovered?
I know you, and obviously you two would.
uncovered in Africa.
But I'm saying, like, Ed, would you get on a
Uncovered in
plane and go to
Africa.
Africa and do a safari?
I don't think I'd go to
16
Africa,
hours,
no.
Johannesburg.
Why?
I don't know.
I'd
I'm
love
just,
to go. I would.
Because got all the coolest animals on earth.
But see, I don't. Animals aren't
You're
like
not
you
a-
know.
well,
Yeah.
you're not a. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Za was not a fan of the bush after dark, and knowing he was surrounded by thousands of potentially lethal wild animals, his anxiety levels began to spike.
It's just the wind. Dude.
Stop playing! I told you, stop fucking playing!
there's no pterodactyls out here.
I would be more afraid to walk around without a mosquito net than I would be of like the other wildlife out there.
Yeah,
But
that's
sure,
why you
that,
got.
that factors into the equation.
See, that's why I don't want to know stuff. Like, you know too much to know that. To be like, I'm afraid of mosquitoes. Like, that's
the
a
deadliest
lot.
animals on earth.
Correct.
Got to get a million
Yeah, well, they kill
shots
yeah,
before
everybody.
you go.
Yeah.
My buddy just got back. He had E. coli.
He what?
He got E. coli.
You could have had some cookie dough. Who knows?
Yeah, well, who knows?
E. coli?
E. coli.
E. coli.
E. coli. He is like the Ricola commercial.
E. coli.
E.
Iconic
coli.
commercial.
Yeah.
Iconic commercial.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd go. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it'd be fucking amazing.
Final story here. A lot of Steelers are coming out of the woodwork to rip on the current team's defense. Before I toss it to you guys, I do have a message here from Jersey Jerry to hit on it first.
Jersey Jerry, just stopping by the rundown real quick. After hearing the news about Ryan Clark bashing the Steelers. Listen, Ryan's points are valid. You know, nobody's scared to play the Pittsburgh defense. I get that. I respect that. But one thing I do not respect is Ryan Clark himself talking about defense after all those fucking years of getting burned, even in the fucking playoffs where you got burned every single play down the middle against the Patriots. You should be ashamed of yourself, you punk. You got no business no business speaking on Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, Chief, what do you got?
Oh, I haven't seen the messages, so I didn't pull that up. But yeah, look, I mean, it's
it's just a bunch of the old heads just being like, this is bullshit. Like, the Steelers aren't.
They're not the steel curtain anymore.
Not even that. They're not the James Harrison, Willie Roaf Steelers anymore. So
It's kind of sad seeing Ben play like this. It's like you come home from college and maybe there's like a really hot girl in high school, and like it's not like it's just drastic. It's like, what happened to her? Like you see him throw an out route right now. It's like, what the fuck happened to that guy?
Well, he's like 70 years
oh,
old.
no shit, Dave. But I mean, when he's been winning games for like 16, 17 years, they got to hit a reset button. Chief, you have a great stat about the Steelers that'll really make you shut up and appreciate how good they've been for like 30 fucking years. What is it?
Oh yeah, we looked up how many losing seasons they've had since 1990, and I think it's 3. And they went, I think it was
7-9, 7-9, 6-10.
That's as spoiled as it gets without having the fucking Super Bowls. I mean,
Well,
they do have Super Bowls.
They got 3. Well, not
Ben.
Ben.
Ben got 2, and then they lost the Packers. So
Okay, that's what
they
in
went to
96
3.
or 97 or something.
They lost to the Cowboys in 97 or 96.
Yeah.
So they've been to 4 in that stretch. They've won 2.
I'd take
they
that.
had 4 in the 70s. They were,
your
they're
old
just
ass.
like they don't understand what it's like to have pain.
Yeah, there's a bunch of spoiled cocksuckers. Like, fuck off. You want pain? Come watch the Bears for a year. Like, you don't even have to be a fan to be like, this is painful to watch.
People saw us die in Pittsburgh. Like it was like, and we all knew it was coming.
That's the thing. Like we were just like, yeah, of course that happened. Like,
yeah,
that was inevitably happening. They were going to take the lead and then blow it. 1,000%. There was no other option.
I got something scary though. We've seen the Bills forever be bad. Their fan base. Has the world ever seen the city of Pittsburgh and the Steelers fan base walking around hopeless? Like that just introduces a very dangerous crowd to the world. Like the Pirates, if they were as bad as the Pirates, like could you imagine?
Yeah, how are the
those
Penguins?
are some dangerous people. Like Pittsburgh people will fuck you up.
Are the Penguins good?
Penguins, they've been good since Crosby.
Right, yeah.
So they've won 3 and
I'm saying this year, like right now, are they good?
Like Crosby missed a lot of the year. Malkin's been out a lot. So like they're kind of going like they're kind of the Big Ben of hockey right now. Like they've been great for a long time. They've won. They've been consistently good. Like even when they were like not winning, you know how the Hawks like just have cratered. The Penguins never really cratered. Like they were always like, oh, they might lose in the first round, or they might lose in the second round, but they never really missed the playoffs. They're always really good. And yeah, but they, who just bought the Penguins?
I do, but
Mario Lemieux.
LeBron James, John Henry.
Yeah.
And they spent $900 million on the Penguins like last week. So Fenway Sports.
That feels like a bargain, dude.
Almost $1 billion for a team that was bankrupt.
Yeah, but
they were bankrupt 20 years. Like Mario bought them for $100 million.
But you're getting a good franchise though. Like the Penguins is like, you feel good about that. You're not buying the Coyotes.
I feel like they bought at the top of the market though. Like they're about to like once Crosby and Malkin are gone, it's going to be dark days for the Penguins.
Yes, but that's still a brand recognizable franchise that you could build around.
Sure, but Mario had to come in and save them from being moved to fucking Hamilton, Ontario, or Kansas City or something. They were so dead.
Yeah.
And then now, but they do have the new stadium now, and Pittsburgh's had a little renaissance too. But I think the Penguins, like, they're going to be bad for a while.
Also, I don't know. I said Willie Roaf. I meant Willie Cologne.
I was wondering.
My mistake. He didn't play in the Steelers.
Willie Roaf was a bad man.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
All right, that's a run on after show.
Chiefs.
Chiefs, Saints.
Okay.
Saints
Sharp trivia. Saints Sharp.
After show, big Dave Portnoy show last night. White Sox Dave, you have the most experience in the gaming world, so I think people would like to hear your perspective on the situation.
So last year during the pandemic, it was in March or so, when everybody was still like kind of, weirded out by the pandemic. Do I leave my house? Do I not? Blah, blah, blah. We needed to keep working. So I'm like, all right, well, let's play video games. That's something that can, be content, air quotes, while at the same time, you're doing something, you're working. So, I hit up Smitty. I got a PlayStation, started streaming, and I had no idea how big the gaming world had gotten because I hadn't touched a video game since really high school, a little bit in college, but not really. And it's just a massive, massive multi-billion-dollar industry. And as soon as I kind of got my feet wet in that industry, I realized like, yo, this is something that Barstool should be all fucking over. Like, all over. And I understand why, like, our higher-ups are not really, because it's such a different world. And unless you're in it, like, there's no, like, really gray area. You either know how big it is or don't know how big it is. So, but at the same time, like, with Smitty and all the shit that's going on behind the scenes, like, I never got that deep into it. Like, obviously, Smitty would have his takes that he would give me, and he'd be pissed off, sometimes frustrated, sometimes happy other times. But all in all, usually from my end, all I would do is kind of show up because it wasn't my thing, and I didn't want to like give unsolicited advice when it wasn't my place to do so. But like I watched the rundown yesterday, and I have no doubt that Smitty is in the right on everything that he said.
The rundown, right?
Or on the Portnoy show. I got Smitty's back fully. Like, I don't know Devlin hardly at all. I've had a conversation or two with him in my life. But like, to say that Smitty's shit I watched go viral right before my eyes. Obviously, with MRAGs, it's a different situation because MRAGs is an actually good gamer. Smitty and I absolutely sucked at it, but we would draw numbers because we were funny together. People enjoyed that kind of backwards camaraderie, I guess. So with Smitty, I don't think anything that he said. Obviously, he's a butcher with words, sort of like I am, so I kind of feel for him there. And he's not like, like Portnoy said on the day Portnoy showed to me, he's like, you're the last person I'd want arguing. Smitty's probably number 2. Or at worst, him and I are interchangeable, and I fully get that, and I think Smitty would understand that, especially when emotions are high and he's all flustered and pissed off at people. But like, there's not one thing he said that on Smitty's end that was bullshit from my understanding. Like, he had every right to be frustrated with how things were going. Like, that was his thing. If it was my thing and people are starting to bark orders at me that kind of were, I don't want to say cherry picking off of the success of the vertical or anything, like, I would be like, dude, like, this is like in the end my thing. Like, I'll hear all arguments, but like, if I think something is fucking stupid or if it's not working, then like, I get final say because I started this. So I get all that. I think the Barstool Game Time brand is just it has a ton of potential because it's just kind of it's such a big marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And
Carl, you got anything on that?
I think it's a tough situation because, it sounded like Devlin wanted to find some stuff to work on and keep himself busy. But the other hand, like, Smitty's very passionate about this stuff. And when you get passionate about the content that you're making, it's very hard to interact with other people that are coming in and being like, well, maybe we should do this and that. I totally see both sides. I didn't spend much time in the game room, like, when we go out to New York. It seems like one of those places that maybe, it probably benefits if more people get involved in it. But
yes, definitely. It's not
like
too
the more
dissimilar.
they can make it like
It's not
guys
too
playing
dissimilar
Mario Party
to
on N64 is probably something I would watch. But like, I don't fucking game that hard. I just know that it absolutely blows when you're on opposite ends of like the content spectrum. And so, but I can't say like, oh, but no, like I'm with Smitty. I have no idea. Smitty was fucking pissed.
Because
I'm trying to think of, he was like, I was like, Smitty will
his
beat the
two
shit out of
editors
somebody.
were
He's a
let
fucking
go.
Big guy too.
His Smitter or his
Devlin's
editors
People don't
were
know how
let
big
go.
Smitty is until you're standing next to him. I feel like he might be
takes
the
up
most
space.
like
He takes up space.
startlingly
Yeah.
large too, but his name's large. But when you're standing next to large, you're like, dude, this checks out. But Smitty, you're like, well, you really are like 6'4".
Yeah.
Beside the point.
Big shoulders. I would say like I talked to Smitty in New York about it too, and I was like, man, like that sounds super fucked up, and I like totally understand his side. But like listening to Dave talk about it and like this whole thing with MRAGs and blah blah blah, it almost sounds like, and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost is like, well, Smitty's like, well, I started a podcast, so no one else can have podcasts. Like it seems like it's such a huge vertical that you could have like your own channel within Game Time.
Yeah, absolutely, and
that's
that's what he was gunning for. But that's not why he's mad. He's mad because two editors, Blaze, who I knew, and from everything that I saw Blaze did, Blaze, I'm sure he was doing the work that he was, like the level of what he was paid was appropriate for the work he was putting out, and the quality of what he was putting out was from my eyes, it was completely fine. And the numbers from what I have looked at and what I had seen like in real time, the numbers reflect that as far as like, you know, YouTube plays and downloads and all that shit. Like, but Smitty, like, and Smitty, when he watches this, he can correct me if I'm wrong. He wanted this to be like a company-wide thing where, like, what was the fucking game?
GoldenEye. Fortnite.
Stop. There was this game that all the chicks were fucking playing last year at the start of quarantine.
Yeah, it's Fall
Animal
Guys?
House or something.
Fall Guys?
I don't know, but all that shit. It was like it was a brand for everybody. And eventually, like, it got to the point where from everything that Smitty's told me and the public, he's like, dude, they're just fucking making decisions without me. So like, fuck this. I'm sick of it. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
sounds
things.
like the computer thing is a big issue.
It's one of those things. It's hard to.
And that number 5,000. I bought a PC last summer and it was $2,000 and it's like the best PC you can buy. So $2,000 to this company should be 000 issue. I'm fully on Smitty's side because of that. Give him the $2,000 PC and have him do it fucking right.
5,000.
And the numbers, it was 2,000.
I thought it was
his was 2,000.
You can get like a 5,000. You can get a probably $30,000 PC, but
Well,
I got like a
regardless.
top of the line streaming PC. It was $2,000.
I think it's good. It's a good storyline here. We'll see what happens. Smitty's
No,
probably gonna
Smitty.
create
Like
his own channel.
I'll defend Smitty to the death on this one. He like
He's upset, man. He built that up. I
and
get it.
he absolutely should be upset.
And
Like,
if those guys think they have a different vision that could change it and make it better, like.
but it
that's
sounds like
just-
Devlin is being
who
a total
knows?
fucking dick face to him about it, and like then firing two guys without even consulting Smitty.
But if you had a computer, why can't you?
I can, but there also nobody. There's Radio Brenn's gone, Blaze was gone. There's nobody clipping, and things just get
Riley
lost in the
is.
fucking shuffle.
Riley is.
Like that would be a fucking huge issue to me. Like maybe they were, maybe they weren't up to snuff. But if like regardless, you fucking asked me beforehand, this is what I started. Like even if you like you guys do make a unilateral decision to fire someone under my watch, like you ask me first, or not ask me, you tell me first, and don't just let me find out through the grapevine. Like I'd be fucking furious about that, and I am pissed. And I don't even know Blazer or Radio Bren. Like I've held minimal conversations with those two.
Okay, that's the rundown. I cracked there for a second.
Yeah,
So
let's make sure that gets
little sip of
spotlight.
water?
That was a
that
crack.
doesn't really usually happen.
I don't
feel.
think I've ever heard your
Yeah.
voice crack before.
That's the rundown.
Wow.
Are you going through puberty yet?
Yeah, bad
Did your
vocals.
balls drop?
Bad vocals.
I get that
Plain.
like once a year, where it
Yeah.
happens like a ton inside like a week-long period.
Yeah.
You have a split second when the crack happens to acknowledge the crack or just keep
Just keep it-
moving.
he
And
tried
I
to
really
keep it rolling.
fart.
No, I respect the guy who goes, "Yeah, I just
And
cracked."
it's
You
the
know,
end of the show.
we all saw
I
it,
could
but I
have just
cracked.
closed the curtains.
Yep. See you later. No, good crack, guys.
All
Good,
right,
good
thank you.
knowledge.
All right, that's the rundown. We'll be back next Wednesday. We'll see you then.